On the bustling streets of New York, a young man named Daniel, only 24 years old, faces the greatest challenge of his life. After losing his family and all his belongings in a devastating accident, he tries to survive with the little he has. Sleeping in shelters and eating what he can find, Daniel watches time pass as his hope fades. However, something inside him still drives him to believe in a better future. He dreams of changing his life and turning things around. One day, while walking despondently through the streets, a billboard catches his attention. How to go from zero to your first million. Exclusive seminar with Warren Buffett. Daniel's eyes light up. This could be the beginning of his change. However, he doesn't have any money for a ticket, but he's determined to find a way to attend. Daniel thinking, I need to be there. If there's a chance, I'm going to seize it. On the day of the seminar, Daniel arrives at the venue without a cent in his pocket. He sees a crowd and security blocking the entrance. Unsure of what to do, he watches as luxury cars arrive, bringing in successful investors and entrepreneurs. Suddenly, amidst the crowd, Daniel spots Warren Buffett stepping out of a car. With an uncontrollable impulse, Daniel throws himself in front of the crowd and yells, Daniel desperately shouting, Mr. Buffett, please teach me how to invest. I need a chance. Warren stops surprised and looks directly into the young man's eyes, seeing the sincerity and desperation in his gaze. He approaches calmly and with a light smile responds, Warren Buffett, you've got courage, kid. Come on, I'll give you an opportunity. Daniel, stunned to be beside the legendary Warren Buffett, enters the event as a special guest. As the lights dim and the seminar begins, he attentively listens to every word from Buffett, as if it were a map for his redemption. Warren Buffett on stage. Investing isn't a game for those who want to get rich quickly. It's a game of patience, study, and above all, wisdom in making informed decisions. People fail because they follow trends, but real success comes from understanding long-term value. The words echo in Daniel's mind. He feels that finally, he is hearing something that can change his life. After the event, Warren calls him for a private conversation. Warren Buffett, speaking to the young man, You're hungry to learn, Daniel, but that alone isn't enough. Are you willing to dedicate your life to this, to have patience and persistence? Daniel determinedly, I am, Mr. Buffett. I have nothing left, but I have the drive to start from scratch. Impressed by the young man's sincerity, Warren decides to offer him a rare opportunity. Warren Buffett, come with me. I'll teach you the basics, but know that the road won't be easy. You will fail, but if you learn from those failures, you can become a great investor. The following days are challenging for Daniel. Buffett introduces him to concepts like value stocks, balance sheet analysis, and the importance of diversification. Daniel tries to absorb everything, but soon makes his first mistakes. Some of the investments he makes with the little money he has don't pay off. Discouraged, he seeks out Buffett. Daniel, disappointed with his actions. Mr. Buffett, I've failed. Nothing's working. Maybe this isn't for me. Warren Buffett, calmly. The market tests everyone's patience, Daniel. It's not about never failing, but how you react to failure. Have you ever heard of value investing? It's a strategy of looking for undervalued companies. Let's start looking at that more carefully. Motivated once again, Daniel dives into his studies. He spends hours analyzing financial reports, learning to identify companies with growth potential, but that are temporarily undervalued. Gradually, he begins to understand what Buffett meant about long-term value. Several months go by, and Daniel begins to see small successes in his investments. He finally manages to make some deals profitable, though not enough to radically change his life. Despite this, he remains steadfast, always remembering Buffett's advice. Until one day an event occurs that will completely change his destiny. While analyzing financial reports late at night, Daniel comes across an emerging tech company that, according to his analysis, is extremely undervalued. Most investors avoid it because its market value plummeted drastically after internal management issues. However, Daniel sees something different, a potential for long-term recovery. Daniel to himself, everyone is avoiding this company, but its fundamentals are still solid. If I'm right, this could be my big break. The next day, he presents his analysis to Buffett with a mixture of nervousness and hope. Daniel speaking. Mr. Buffett, I believe this tech company is being completely undervalued by the market. I think there's a real opportunity for recovery. Warren looks over the reports carefully, studies the projections, and nods slowly. Warren Buffett. You might be right. Are you willing to invest your capital in this? Remember, it's your decision and you need to be prepared for the consequences. Without hesitation, Daniel decides to invest almost everything he has in this company. It's a bold move, but he believes in what he has learned and is willing to take the risk. In the following months, the company's value begins to rise gradually. The market sees the same opportunity Daniel saw, and within a year, the stock value doubles. This transformative investment puts Daniel on a new financial level, and he finally sees his hard work being rewarded substantially. Daniel excitedly to Buffett. I did it. The investment that seemed impossible worked. Warren Buffett with a light smile. I told you the road would require patience and study. Now you're starting to understand the true value of investing. With his first major success, Daniel becomes more confident, but now he understands that the journey is far from over. He begins diversifying his investments, applying the lessons Buffett taught him, investing in solid companies with strong fundamentals and not getting swept up by short-term trends. His discipline starts to pay off consistently, and he's no longer that lost young man on the streets. However, life as an investor isn't just about victories. A new challenge arises when the market faces a severe economic crisis. Daniel watches his stocks plummet rapidly. Anxious and afraid of losing everything, he rushes to Buffett for guidance. Daniel, worried. Mr. Buffett, the market is crashing. Stocks are falling. Should I sell now and cut my losses? Warren Buffett, serenely. Daniel, remember what I always say. Be fearful when others are greedy and greedy when others are fearful. In times of crisis, even greater opportunities arise. Stay calm and continue investing in the companies you believe in. The market always recovers. These words resonate deeply with Daniel. Instead of panicking, he follows his mentor's advice and starts looking for new opportunities amidst the crisis. He finds companies with great potential that are temporarily undervalued and decides to invest in them, keeping the long-term vision. The following months are challenging. The losses in the market continue, but Daniel stays firm in his decisions. He revisits his analyses daily and closely follows market movements, but he doesn't act impulsively. Buffett, always by his side, reminds him of the importance of reinvesting dividends and keeping a clear vision. As time passes, the economy begins to recover, and the companies Daniel invested in see enormous growth. What seemed like the worst moment of his life turns into one of his greatest opportunities for growth. Daniel, reflecting. If I had given up at the first sign of trouble, I'd never have made it this far. Resilience really is the key. After years of dedication, learning, and growing alongside Warren Buffett, Daniel reaches a level of success he never imagined possible. His investment portfolio flourishes, and he finally reaches the symbolic milestone of his first $1 billion. Still, he knows his journey is far from over, and one final trial awaits him. Daniel is invited to attend a major investors conference in New York, where he will speak alongside some of the biggest names in the financial sector. At this event, he will receive an award for his contributions to the business world and be recognized as one of the most promising investors of his generation. Nervous, he prepares for his speech, remembering his roots and how it all started with a simple plea for help from Warren Buffett. When he steps onto the stage, the spotlight shines on Daniel's face. The audience is filled with business people, journalists, and future investors. In the crowd, he sees Buffett watching attentively with his serene smile. Daniel takes a deep breath and begins. Daniel says, "A few years ago I had nothing. I had no family, no money, and barely had a place to sleep. Living on the streets, I could hardly feed myself, and I witnessed people using drugs every day. But I had one thing that kept me alive, the hope that my life could change." He looks at Buffett and continues. Daniel says, "And that change began the moment I had the courage to ask for a chance from a man who knew how to turn dreams into reality. Mr. Buffett taught me that true success doesn't come from big leaps, but from small, consistent steps in the right direction." The audience is silent, completely absorbed in Daniel's story. He shares the most important lessons he learned throughout his journey, such as the value of patience, the importance of reinvesting profits, and the necessity of learning from failures. Daniel says, "Today I'm not here just to celebrate financial success. I'm here to remind everyone that no matter where you start, with resilience, focus, and the right mentor, it's possible to reach unimaginable heights. It wasn't luck, it was persistence." When he finishes, the audience rises in thunderous applause. At the back of the room, Warren Buffett makes a discreet nod, proud of his protege. Daniel steps off the stage, feeling a wave of fulfillment and gratitude. This was the peak of his journey, the moment he not only achieved success, but also became an example for others who, like him, started from nothing. After the event, Daniel is surrounded by journalists and investors, all eager to hear more about his journey and strategies. He knows he now has the responsibility to be an inspiration for those just starting out, just as Warren Buffett was for him. But above all, he feels a deep gratitude for having been able to transform his life. That night, Daniel meets Buffett for a private dinner. As the two share a meal, the young man reflects on all he has achieved. Daniel, emotionally speaking, "Mr. Buffett, when I think about how much my life has changed, it's hard to believe. But more than the money, what really transformed me were the lessons I learned from you." Warren Buffett, smiling. "Money is just a tool, Daniel. The real wealth is in how you use what you've learned to make a difference. Now that you've come this far, the next step is to help others do the same." Daniel, determined. "That's exactly what I'm going to do. I want to give back what I've learned, just like you did for me." In that moment, Daniel realizes that his journey as a successful investor doesn't end with personal wealth accumulation. He decides to start an organization to teach underprivileged youth about finance, investments, and how to build a better future from scratch, something he knows can change lives. Warren Buffett speaking. "That's what makes the difference, Daniel. The knowledge you share, I'm proud of you. What began as a solitary struggle for survival now transforms into a mission to help others transform their lives as well." Daniel, who once had nothing, now has everything, and he's determined to use it to create a lasting impact on the world. Years later, Daniel becomes one of the most respected figures in the investment world. His story of overcoming spreads across the globe, and his foundation, dedicated to teaching financial literacy to disadvantaged youth, transforms thousands of lives. In schools, communities, and seminars, his name is synonymous with inspiration. During an interview for a television program, the host asks him, TV host speaking, Daniel, looking back, did you ever imagine you'd come this far, starting literally from zero? Daniel, with a reflective smile, never. I knew I needed to change my life, but I never imagined I'd be able to achieve so much. What brought me here was perseverance and the opportunity someone believed in me. He pauses, looking at the camera as if speaking directly to his younger self. Daniel saying, if you're watching this now and feel like you don't have a chance, like you're stuck or there's no way out, know that no matter how hard your situation is, if you have the courage to learn and the patience to apply what you learn, anyone can make it. Daniel leaves the studio, and as he walks through the streets of New York, he passes by a billboard announcing a new seminar with Warren Buffett. He smiles, remembering that day when his life changed forever, and feels grateful for having crossed paths with his mentor. This was the emotional journey of Daniel, a young man who, with resilience and determination, went from zero to $1 billion. He showed us that no matter how difficult the beginning is, with the right guidance and the willingness to learn, it's possible to transform your reality. This story is a powerful reminder that true success doesn't come from luck but from patience, continuous learning, and perseverance. If you also believe that you can change your life, don't wait for opportunities to fall from the sky. Do like Daniel. Seek, learn, and be ready when the chance comes. If you enjoyed this inspiring story, share it with your friends. Who knows, you might be the inspiration someone needs right now. And if you're not yet subscribed to our Inspired Stories channel, don't waste any more time. Here we share real and emotional stories of overcoming, achievements, and successes that can change your perspective on life. Subscribe and follow the next exciting journeys we'll bring. Leave a comment about what you thought of Daniel's story and how it impacted you. We're eager to read your thoughts and suggestions for the next videos. Thank you so much for watching until the end. We'll see you in the next video on the Inspired Stories channel. See you then.